We'll start with Eddie if we can, guys, then we'll come to Michael and then to James. Take it away.
Eddie, big news today for the co-captains. Why have you gone that way instead of maybe more traditional one captain?
Well, we want to do things differently. That's to start with. You know, we want to change the Wallabies, and having not worked day to day with these two guys over the last 3 months. You know, we've been having a number of leadership group meetings by Zoom and when possible in person. I think the combination of slips and hoops together gives us a very strong apex to the leadership. Then underneath that, there's a group of players that are going to be really important to support them. But I think the combination of character and style between the hoops and slips, and you don't get two more experienced players in the world in Test rugby. So that's a big advantage for us. And you can see by the squad, we've got a good core of experienced players, but we've also got some young guys coming through that are going to push the barrel. So I think together they can do a really great job.
Was it an easy choice picking these two out of that group of experienced leaders that you've been meeting with, given their prior experience having captained Australia?
No, not easy at all. A lot of soul searching, a lot of thought, a lot of consultation with various people about what the best way to do it is. We feel that these two guys can do a great job for us.
You said you want to do things differently, and yet, no disrespect for these two lads a bit there, but they've already been captains. Was there a compulsion at all to really change it up and just put your stamp on it by picking someone else entirely, or how did you sort of settle on or wrestle with that?
Well, we want to do things differently but better. And one of the things about any great team is that the head's experienced, and we want experience up there. Because if you played 120 tests, or you've captained your country for 65 tests, you've seen it all. You've got an idea of what you should do, and we don't want to lose that. That's what great teams are about.
Was there anyone else who came closer? Can you name some names perhaps before you decided on this?
I never talk about hypothetical.
Thanks a lot.
Who's if these two are on the field at the same time, they start a test together, who's taking the lead, taking charge on the captaincy role, the decisions?
Work that out in the morning coffee. We'll flick the coin and see, right, slips you'll go today, hoops you'll go. No, we'll work that out, mate. They'll work it out. More importantly, they'll work it out.
What about if you envision that one of them will be on the field at all times? Is that another reason why you've done that? Or?
Well, it helps. It helps. As a prop these days, because of the intensity of the game, it's hard to play longer than 50, 60 minutes consistently. And hoops is an 80-minute player, so that does help. But we know with HIA and we know with injury that there may be a situation where they're both not on the field, and that's where the leadership group will fill the vacuum.
Eddie, I suppose you also, one of the things you said, because you hadn't been around Wallabies camp, was you wanted to see how players reacted to guys that look like leaders. So what have you seen from the players and how they react around these guys as natural leaders? Did you see that overtly all the time?
Yeah.
Defer to these guys?
Well, not so much slips, because I haven't had the chance to work with slips only for 2 days here. But I've seen what he does on the field with the Brumbies over a long period of time. And you can feel that leadership force, and hoops particularly this week, Coogee has been absolutely outstanding. You know, we put the players in some difficult situations where they had to work out. We played 15 versus 13, 13 versus 15, and the teams had to work it out on the run what they were going to do. And the hoops just showed the experience that he's had as a captain, and therefore the two of them together is a powerful force for us. Like, it's a winning edge for us, guys. Winning edge for us.
Fraser McWright's had a massive season. You said Michael's an 80-minute player. Where do you think Fraser's at in terms of getting a look in these few games just to see what?
Well, he's in
the World Cup.
He's in the squad of 33, mate.
Yeah.
That means he's got a good show.
So do you reckon that is it likely that those two might split minutes, or how are you going to?
Are you from Queensland?
Just surprise me.
You're from New South Wales.
No, Queensland.
Queensland,
I've
okay.
covered nationally. I think it's
All right.
been a big topic over the years.
Yeah,
how
no,
it
it's a
works,
good
so,
battle, mate,
yeah.
and that's what we want. We want the most intense battles. Like Slips is going to have Angus Bell. He's going to have Gibbo breathing very heavily behind him. I was going to say something inappropriate there, so I won't. And that's what we want, mate. We want a really competitive squad. But one of the things the players spoke about last week, and it's such an important aspect of being part of a good team and a good Wallaby team, where you compete hard, but at the end of the day, these guys don't make the decision on selection. I do. And then they've got to get on with it, work with each other. If they don't get in the team, then how do they help that other player be better on that day? And that's what we want.
Can you see a scenario where Hoops is replaced by Fraser, or the two play together? You know, in the past, you used Phil Waugh and George Smith for both open sides on the field together. Can you see a scenario where that might be Hooper and Fraser together?
Oh, I think it's premature to go down those selection computations now. You know, we'll have two guys competing for 7, and we want Kennedy to play 7. You know, we want Kennedy to play 7, 6 and play on the wing. He's quick enough to play on the wing. That's why he's down as a utility player. And we need to develop a team that's multi-dimensional, because of the fact that with HIA, with red cards, yellow cards, you need to be able to adapt on the field. So nothing's not possible, and we need to develop that adaptability in the team.
What about, sorry, Jimmy?
I suppose over the last 4 or 5 years, number 6 has been a real position where Australia's been trying to find the perfect solution. You've got a number of options there: Tom Hooper, Leota when he's fit, Holloway. Where's number 6 in your eyes?
No.
How significant is the position, I guess I'm saying?
Well, I think when you're playing against, you know, particularly against South Africa, and that's what we got in the first game. You know, the line out's so important. You've got to be able to win your ball well, and then you've got to be able to put pressure on their ball and not allow them to win the ball where they want to win it. You know, they're a very play by territory type team, and they like to win the ball in certain areas, and we've got to be good enough to be able to take that away from them and make them win the ball in other areas. And then for us, be able to win the ball so it just doesn't allow them to rush all the time. So having a jumping 6 is not absolute, but it's probably going to be close to the mark. And, you know, as you said, we've got 3 good options there. Leota, Jed, and who was the third one you said?
I said Hooper.
Hooper, yeah, Tom Hooper, who's done really well at Super Rugby's, you know, come from basically nowhere. You know, halfway during the year he was walking his dog, and now he's in the Wallaby squad. I don't know, has he got a dog?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, what did you like about what stood out for Tommy? I was going to
Oh, combative, mate. Absolutely combative. Like, yeah, Chiefs game, he's taking him on. He's into everything. Really good.
Any further in the room, guys? Happy? Guys, we can come online for
We've
a
got
couple.
a few more Queensland players to go through. You haven't exhausted yourself yet?
funny, mate.
We're all Australians, Eddie.
Come online for a couple, and then we'll shift to Michael.
Sometimes, mate.
Eddie, if I can kick this off, you've gone with Quade Cooper as one of 3 10s, and Bern Foley's missed out, and Ben Donaldson's been included. Can you just talk a little bit about the 10s particularly? Thank you.
Yeah, well, you know, Quade's, he's a different sort of player, mate. And if we can get him back to his best, he becomes a really competitive edge for us. Young Carter Gordon's done well, and Donaldson fills a utility role for us. And, you know, there could well be opportunities for Foles further down the track, and we'll just have to wait and see, mate.
Do you see that utility role, particularly someone who can play a 10-15, really important in a World Cup year where obviously you don't necessarily want to replace injured guys if they're only going to miss a week or 2?
Very important, mate. So, yeah, and that's why we've named them as utility players. And we haven't picked this squad as a World Cup squad, but we're creating the structure of the team that'll take us to the World Cup. And we need a back row who can play wing, I'm serious about this. You know, Hoops can probably do it. In his younger age, he was quick. He was faster than most of the wingers, and now he's probably as fast, apart from Sully when he's got his cattle prod chasing him. And then Kennedy's quick enough to be a winger, and he's tall, rangy guy, good in the air. And Donaldson trained all week at fullback and we know he can play 10 well.
Last couple online, please, guys, if anyone else has a question.
Did you seek any more exemptions other than those two for the Giddo law? Is 5 what you're after? And is there a cap there now for going forward to the World Cup, or could it be expanded, do you think?
I haven't really thought about that, mate. All I know is that the team we put in got improved. So, the CEO's got off to a good start, mate.
A spot for Bernard Foley as well?
Sorry?
Go again,
You
Pato.
didn't seek a spot for Bernard Foley as well?
No, that was the team we selected, and that team got approved, mate.
One more online, guys, if anything, for Eddie before we go to Michael.
Just getting obviously some very, very accomplished players in that rehab group that you've got there. Will any of those guys travel to South Africa, and are they in the selection frame at all, or not for game one?
For game one, most of those players, apart from possibly Karevi, is Karevi in the rehab?
Groovy.
Yeah.